Hello everybody, it's Sunday. I look a mess. Didn't do nothing. My daughter just went home. She works tonight, so won't see her for another week or so. I had a good weekend. Hope you did too. Hubby's watching the ball game. Don't know how the Jays are doing, but I'm sure I'll find out. Yeah, so I want to thank everybody for all their well wishes and everything for the evacuees and all the folks that are in a bad way out west with all them wildfires going on. There's a bunch more that have kicked up and they're blowing through Alberta now, so that's 3. There'll be a couple in northern British Columbia as well. We're still fighting a couple up north here. We still have one out of control. So let's hope things go well. I want to thank all the American firefighters and folks that are coming up to help us for, like they do every other time. They've been here a couple fire seasons helping us out. That's awesome to see. So what I want to do today is talk about Miss Joni Ernst from the great state of Iowa. Unfortunately, she's not a great senator, just saying. I just want to ask her, what the hell, Joni? Is this like Stockholm Syndrome where you're being held captive and you're starting to go along with your captive's ideas? Is that what this is? I mean, if you're a hostage and need to break out, I mean, please blink once for yes, twice for no. Please do something because you're not doing anything. And that's the sad part. All you've turned into is a sad, sorry MAGA. That's all you've turned into after all the great things you've done in your life. So if you're new here, welcome to my channel. We have a lot of fun here. So like me, love me, share me. Don't forget to subscribe. Hangers on. I love you. Thanks for hanging on. It's been a few years now. It's pretty awesome. And I'm hoping to get to 50,000 subscribers by the end of June. Think we can do it? Fingers crossed. If not, don't change the goal. Just change the date. That's all. Small problem, big world, right? All right, let's get into Miss Joni Ernst. I just want to say to you, Joni, you had it all. You absolutely had it all. You were a respected member of the Army Reserve, National Guard. You joined ROTC and at the University of Iowa State. You became a logistics officer and you were promoted to lieutenant colonel. You know what? You know who would be a good logistics officer? The one that volunteers to go and take that position at FEMA. Nobody needs logistics more than them. How to get shit to people, how much to get, when to do it, how to get it there. Yeah, that's what logistics is all about. And if you were a logistics officer, I think you would be a good person in charge of that. Did you volunteer for that? Did you? You could have thrown your name in the ring for that. At least somebody would have known what they were doing. But alas, you actually deployed for a year in Kuwait as a commander of the 1168 transport company. You worked in transportation. You got vehicles to go wherever they needed to go, and you moved people and you moved supplies. That's what you did. And you also served with the 185th Combat Sustainment Support Battalion at Camp Dodge. You done a lot, Joni. You done a lot. And you served for 23 years. You became a senator in 2015. But you know what? I forgot. You were also the auditor of Montgomery County. And you've been a U.S. Senator since 2015. You served with Chuck Grassley. I think everybody served with Chuck Grassley, don't you? I think when Christ was a cowboy, he served with Chuck Grassley. I'm just saying. So you had a front row seat back in 2015 when he was running against Hillary Clinton to know exactly what that man was all about. And I think it would be your job to find out who and what he was all about. And what he had brewing in the Republican Party. You would think that you, growing up castrating pigs on the family farm, you would carry on that old family tradition with your porcine politicians. You serve with the likes of Pig Hegseth, for example, or the huge bore in the White House, who could probably use a change of sorts. Just my opinion, of course, but you had a terrible thing happen to you you were S8, and you went on to champion bills that would protect women and children against abuse. You wanted to offer housing and voucher programs to help these women. You wanted to get more counseling for those who were abused in domestic relationships and all the rest of stuff. You fought hard for that. Big proponent for victims just like you. You knew what Trump was campaigning on, especially in 2020. You knew exactly what was going on, and I know in my heart of hearts that you knew all about Project 2025 and how DEI was going to play a role and women were going to be treated like shit by women like Donald Trump and Pig Hegseth. To all of the Republican House and Senate, you sat there and let it happen. And you know what? All you are now is a DEI hire. Because MAGA men don't want women in the workplace, let alone in powerful jobs like yours, or as judges, or DAs, states attorney generals, strong black women that use their elected power to say, oh, no, you won't, to the likes of Donald Trump. He doesn't like that. So now he sicks his little posse on everybody to try and charge them. Whatever happened to separation between the executive branch and states? Let states do their own thing? What happened to that? But oh no, you're in there firing judges and everything else. States attorneys, that's what you're going after? Two-faced bitch. High-ranking senior staff in all branches of the military got the boot. Police chiefs, mayors. Oh, speaking of mayors and such, he doesn't like women governors either. He hates, and I know hate's a strong word, but I've used stronger, Governor Janet Mills of Maine. Oh my God. He hates her because she stood up to him in his own house, in the White House, and she told him to his big fat mango moose knuckle face, I will see you in court. And he got all pissy and stood there and went, yeah, well, we'll see you in court. You're not going to win. You'll never get to do politics anymore. You're not going to do politics anymore. Well, guess what? She did take him to court. And guess what? She won. Joni is a taco as well. She talks a lot and chickens out. She said she would fight so that Pig Hegseth would not become the Secretary of Defense because of what she went through. She knows what's entailed in running at least a platoon or a battalion. She said she wouldn't confirm him because he was an accused rapist. He bankrupted 2 veterans charities, was drunk on duty in uniform and shouting kill all Muslims, and she said he was unqualified. But the whole herd of pigs and the boar persuaded her by threatening her. They threatened her and demeaned her, so she chickened out. She said she wouldn't vote for Cash App. She caved again. And the same thing, Kristi Noem, the goat killer, she ends up being Homeland Security. Now, I don't know if she'll run again, and I probably don't think she will, but I think that if she gets out, she's probably getting out from the shame of voting for Hegseth after what she went through. Just saying, that's my opinion. I, as a veteran, am disgusted by her continuously submitting to the likes of the regime. When she served in a region where dictatorships are rampant, where she served in Kuwait and Iraq, she saw firsthand what women went through and how they were treated. She did a town hall in Iowa this weekend, and it was a total disaster, and it was glorious to watch her be taken to task. When it comes to some of the questions, her constituents asked her how she could even think of voting for the big bullshit billionaires bill. She had smug answers for everybody. Another constituent said he was a Navy veteran and a retired school superintendent. And he grilled down hard on her. How could she go along with Trump's authoritarian style of governing? Are you afraid of Trump? Are you corrupt like Trump? Or are you just at the point where you just don't care anymore? Is that why you don't do anything? And she said, obviously I don't agree because I don't think our country is being destroyed. And that answer right there said to me, she answered yes to every one of his questions. Yes, she's afraid of Trump. Yes, she is corrupt like Trump. And yes, I think she's finally at the point where they are turning against her and she can't take it and she won't stick up for you. So yes to every one of those questions that a Naval veteran asked her. She was questioned hard on how she could vote for cuts to Medicaid and Medicare and SNAP. She said that those who were not eligible to benefit from them in the first place by her standards, when you are arguing about illegal aliens that are receiving Medicare benefits, 1.4 million people, they are not eligible, so they will be coming off. That's according to her standards, which are under hell as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, and a lady in the audience yelled back, people are going to die. And that smug bitch said to that woman with her legs crossed and sitting there at the table, and she said, we're all going to die. For heaven's sakes, folks. That's what she said, and the way she said it. Probably a pretty shitty imitation, but still. And with a big grin on her face. So you know how much she cares about you. But sure, love your neighbor, Joni, not castrate them. You're cutting their knees out from under them. And then, the very next day, to me, what she did was one of the most disrespectful things that a politician has ever done, next to when the Mango Moose Knuckle went through that cemetery and said, these guys are all losers and suckers. What was in it for them? She went to a cemetery, and for me, she went there and she mocked every one of those people that were laying at their final resting spot. And she made an ass out of all of them. And she said, oh, I made an incorrect assumption that everyone in the auditorium understood that, yes, we are all going to perish from this earth. And I'm glad I didn't have to bring up the subject of the Tooth Fairy. But for those who would like to see eternal and everlasting life, I encourage you to embrace my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Not only no, but hell no, Joni. Not your Lord and Savior. Your Lord and Savior is Donald Trump, the Mango Moose Knuckle. That's how you bend down. He'll threaten you and you'll spin in circles on your head if he told you to. You are lying and you are politically stealing food out of the mouths of children and seniors. You are taking away their health care. A lot of the times it's drug benefits, and they will die without those benefits. So I encourage you to either change your religion, change your attitude, or seek help. At the very least, up your meds. You up your meds. That might help. You have just become cruel and corrupt. And I say corrupt because back about 4 years ago, you were worth $398,000. You had no trade volumes. You had a few mutual funds, but most of us do. It's just you got a few extra bucks that goes in there, that's all. You're not millionaires by any stretch of the imagination. But the funny thing is, just in the last little bit, you're all of a sudden worth over $7 million. Those knee pads must be pretty good. Just saying. You are a knee pad wearer and most definitely need to go back to the farm where you can sit on your porch and you can watch all those little pigs run around and reminisce about the ones that you left behind. and just sit back in your rocker and live out the rest of your miserable, disgusting life in shame and regret. Get her out of office. Vote her out. Vote her out. Go to her office. Just keep on her because she is doing you all dirty in Iowa. I'm just saying. 9 and 11 should be good. Be safe. Please take care of you first. Hangers on. Newcomers, welcome. And Joni, yeah, stop petting my peeves. Talk to you later. Take care of you.